Hey everybody, Terry here with Fast Cast Rods again, and I wanted to make this video and answer a question that everyone, my friends and I are getting into this big thing, and it's kayak fishing. And one of the biggest questions that has come up between us is, can you put a trolling motor on a kayak? And the answer to that is yes, you can, and we have done it on several different kayaks. And I kind of wanted to go over that and just briefly and kind of explain maybe some of the questions that might even just pop into your head as I say that. Can you put a trolling motor on a kayak? And so the first things first, can every kayak have a trolling motor on it? And the answer is yes, but they're not all meant to have a motor on them. Hopefully that makes sense, and I'm going to explain that. So some kayaks you buy are specifically designed for fishing and have certain things for like rod holders and even places for battery compartments and trolling motor mounts. Now, some other ones do not come with trolling motor mounts and do not come with placements, and you kind of have to be not a carpenter, but not, and maybe MacGyver it a little bit, but you have to make the mounts yourselves for them, and it'll be a side mount off of the side right behind you, or maybe even a foot pedal. But yes, you can pretty much put a trolling motor on a kayak. Any kayak will do. However, I would suggest a flat bottom kayak, and the reason for that is I've used a lot of kayaks now, and the flat bottom kayaks tend to be less top heavy, so they won't bounce you around as much and you won't flip it over. The flat bottoms are really nice and smooth through the water. You don't get a lot of rocking or anything like that, especially if you put a battery in. So it's going to be much easier on you if you buy a flat bottom kayak. So maybe a couple of gotchas is what size trolling motor should I get so I can actually move through the water? Now, when you think about this, remember that trolling motors are only designed to go 5 miles an hour, max. That's the max speed. So it doesn't really matter. It matters how big your boat is for the size of the trolling motor. Most trolling motors are designed by thrust, and what that means is like you can get a 30 thrust trolling motor or a 50 thrust trolling motor depending on how big your boat is, because if you put two 50 thrust trolling motors on, is that going to make you go any faster? And no, it's not. It's just going to help your boat move through the water, because again, the max speed is designed for 5 miles an hour. So and there's a reason for that, and a lot of the lakes that I kayak at anyway are 5 mile an hour or under. There's one that I really love up in Northern California. It's called Stumpy Meadows, and it's a 5 mile an hour lake. So we put the trolling motors on there, and we can kind of tool around. So when you think about it, just remember, if you have a bigger kayak, maybe a 2-person kayak or a specially designed fishing kayak, you may have to get a 50 thrust, but a 30 thrust is going to be just fine for you, because again, your max is going to be 5 miles an hour. Another thing to consider is the battery life. If you're running full throttle, you probably expect to get, like maybe 2 hours of max open throttle, 2 hours max running time. Most trolling motors are 5 speeds, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is the max. At a speed 4, you're probably going to get 4 hours time used. Speed 3, you're probably going to get 6. Speed 2, you're going to get like 8 and 12 or 8. Speed 1, you're going to get like 16 hours. So as long as you're not full throttle the whole lake, you're probably going to get a full day's use out of it. Another thing that comes up is it legal? And that's kind of a gray area depending on what state you use, or state you live in, because some will require you anything that has a motor attached to the back to register it, or to get the green sticker for it. Other states just say if you have a motor and it's more than 25 horsepower, you have to have a green sticker. And so you could probably get away. Like in California, we don't do that. We just put a little trolling motor on, and I haven't been stopped by a fish or game or anything like that and had any problems with it. But you definitely want to check out your local law enforcement or fishing game, which again, if you go to fastcastrods.com, there's the all 50 state fishing game right there, and you can pretty much, or you can Google it or whatnot. If you want to check out the article I wrote on this, it's in the description below. Or if you go to fastcastrods.com / kayak motor, it'll take you right there. It'll take you through whether it's legal or not, and what kind of battery life you're looking at, and what else you might need, like a battery box and things like that. So check it out. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.